There is big news today as we are a day away from the NBA draft, Monse. And I don't know if you've heard some of the rumors out there, but some of this stuff was floated a couple of weeks ago that the Dallas Mavericks were looking in some different places for a head coach, not maybe promoting an assistant or a former head coach, that they were looking at the college game. And I am just getting word, our NBA insider, we've got our NBA insider joining us here to break the news on who is going to be the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Justin Timberlake joins the show. Justin, what's the latest?
You see, it's gonna be me.
It's Dusty May is the new. Wow.
That's what you were planning?
Wait, who's it going to be again? Just quickly.
It's gonna be me.
Okay, there it is. That is going to be who the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks is going to be, courtesy of our Fox Sports Radio NBA insider, Justin Timberlake. They also interviewed John Shire, Monse, or I don't actually, you know what? I don't even know if they did. They had thought about maybe reached out to Shire's representatives, but in the end, according to Justin Timberlake, the Mavs are going to hire. Oh, we're going to do the long one.
It's gonna be me.
There it is.
Got it. You would dive into NSYNC and the boy band. Oh, that's so good.
There were 3 finalists, but apparently it came down to just one person, and who was that?
It's gonna be me.
There it is. Dusty May is your head coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
That was great. That was so good. Dusty is a Mav. That's crazy. When I saw the news, I was like, am I reading this right? Did I miss something last night? I had no idea where this came from. And then as shocked as I was, that shock only lasted so long, Dan.
Why? Why did it last only so long?
It only lasted so long because I was like, as I'm waking up this morning, I was like, well, who wants to deal with the transfer portal and NIL anyway? He doesn't either.
Yes.
That's all. I quickly moved on, but I was surprised for several seconds.
I think that there is something to what you're saying, and I also
can't.
Wait, do you want?
I can't.
If you're just tuning in to Stugotz and Company Live and you haven't heard the news, we think we know who the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks is, and it's
gonna be me.
Dusty May of Michigan. Don't worry, we'll only play it 5 more times this segment.
Only
5 more times.
Don't worry about it.
This is coming from a guy who just figured out the transfer portal.
Right. How long has he been there? 2 years, and then he was from the ACC, right? Like, how long has he been in college basketball?
So Dusty May has spent his entire career in college basketball. However, as a head coach, he led Florida Atlantic to the Final Four a few years back, then ended up taking the Michigan job. And a lot of people actually thought at the time that he was going to be going to Indiana, and at some point was just waiting for the Indiana job to open because he was played at Indiana, he went to school at Indiana, ended up being a graduate assistant at Indiana. Dusty May is all about the Hoosiers. Now, at some point, he may end up coaching Indiana, but I think what this says a couple of things. Your point about the NIL and the transfer portal is coaches leave all the time, and so now the players kind of have their own power, and it feels like it's a balance of power. But it's now a matter of, do guys just even want to deal with this anymore? I also think that Dusty May thought to himself, in this wild world of college basketball, of NIL, of transfer portal, and of just the NCAA tournament and how it is, to end up winning national championship after national championship isn't the easiest thing to do. Like, UConn did it with Dan Hurley, and I think Dan Hurley to the NBA, where the rumors were about the Lakers at one time. Dan Hurley is like made for college basketball. But I think a lot of these guys who are coaching now feel it's a little bit easier in the NBA. And if you're trying to win back-to-back NCAA tournament titles, or you're trying to win 2 out of every 3 or 4 years, it's tough to do just in the format. Tournament is now expanding. There's more teams in. neutral court games all the time. Like, a lot of stuff can go wrong in those instances. And so I think that the draw of the NBA is exactly what you say. It's everything that college basketball has become. And to try to start over almost every single year in trying to bring in people and trying to bring in kids is something that certain coaches don't want to do. I also think coaching Cooper Flagg is probably a draw.
Absolutely. I was going to mention he must want to coach Cooper
But
Flagg.
ultimately, I think that you're right. It's just that the draw of the college game isn't what it was. Isn't what it was when Dusty May was in college. It isn't what it was when he basically led Florida Atlantic to the Final Four. You look at that Florida Atlantic team, there were so many different guys from that team that played on other teams because of the transfer portal and had opportunities. And then Dusty May was able to move on. But I think it's ultimately, your point is correct, that it's what college sports is today that made Dusty May leave for the NBA.
I wonder how quickly the page turned for him, that maybe he wasn't expecting it. They just won the national title. How quickly did he have to move from celebrating and feeling like we're on top of the world to going right back to business?
Yeah, pretty quick.
That's got to be hard.
Yes.
That's got to be, I feel like you would want to hold on to that, but you can't, right? You have to focus on the next season because you don't know what it's going to be. And like you just broke it down. Who wants to deal with that year after year?
I don't blame Dusty May because this is the business, but in a way I blame Dusty May because he's also screwed over Michigan. It's June 22nd.
Yeah.
You know, when our buddy Doug Gottlieb got the Green Bay job a couple of years now, and Doug, we talked about his extension last week. When he got the job, Jason, it was mid-May, right? It was around
May 14 or something.
And he was way behind everyone else. So now Michigan's got their roster set. There is no transfer portal that's open that you can bring guys in. Their roster is set. So those players are now going to be playing for a coach that they don't know about. I should say they don't know about. They'll just probably promote an assistant, and Michigan will have this upcoming season. But for all of these guys who said, like Elliot Cadeau was a guy who went back to Michigan, was part of that national championship team. Now Dusty May's not there, so now he's going to stick around. He could have gone elsewhere, could have gotten other NIL money, who knows, this is going to hurt his NBA stock. It really screws over Michigan and those players, specifically those players, because it happened so late. But it's also just the world that they live in that I think forced Dusty May to make this move.
Look at how kind you're being to Michigan. Who would have thought?
Right?
Who would have thought that? Look at Dan Beyer.
Maybe it's
growth.
Maybe it's maturity.
Maturity kicking in.
I didn't say I felt bad about it.
No. But look at you.
Yeah, they were so much better than. I mean, they destroyed Arizona last year. Like, there were three top teams in college hoops.
Right.
Arizona, Duke, and then Michigan, who ultimately wins it. UConn took care of Duke's matters. Michigan took the Arizona matters into their own hands, took care of it. They're likely going to have 3 top 20, maybe 3 top 15 picks coming up in the draft tomorrow night. Michigan is. So there would be a bit of a drop-off from that. But, yeah, I think that they really get screwed by this because of the timing of it for and I mean, everything can't be perfect. Like, you can't have a New Orleans Pelicans situation where Willie Green's out in November and you know that you're going to need to replace him as head coach. Jason Kidd was a late removal of head coach and not coming back. So the Mavericks were kind of behind the 8 ball, but this really does screw over Michigan by having it so late in the season.
And it sucks. It really does. But with the ever-changing landscape, it's very much a two-way street as you broke it down. Now it seems like fair. The players can also do this. There's no loyalty anywhere. So it does suck, but this is it. This is the reality of college sports.
Yes,
this is the reality. Yeah, Jinx. Who's it gonna be?
It's gonna be me.
There we go.
It works when I do it.
You do. I don't have the power. I don't have the power. This is not fair.
Again, if you're just joining us here on Fox Sports Radio, our NBA insider Justin Timberlake is telling us who's going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
You see, it's gonna be me.
There, you've heard it here on Fox Sports Radio. Jason Stewart is the show's executive producer, hanging out with us on this Monday.
So, Brad Stevens is like the one glowing example of when you hire someone out of the college ranks. Not only was he a really good NBA head coach, but he's also led them to a title as an executive. That's the benchmark, right? And then my mind, when I see a hire like this, goes to all the others that have just failed miserably. And between the three of you, Isaac as well, please tell me what I've left out here. So Billy Donovan just lost a job with the Bulls, but he actually has 2 NBA jobs. That's a successful reign as a former college head coach. So John Beilein was the Cleveland Cavs head coach. John Calipari was hired in the 90s out of UMass. That didn't go too well. Rick Pitino infamously wasn't a good NBA head coach after being great in college. Tim Floyd, I think he actually had a couple NBA jobs.
Yes.
Mike Montgomery was hired by the Warriors out of Stanford. And I'm not going to include the Fred Hoiberg and Reggie Theus hires because they were former NBA players, so it was a little bit more seamless. But those college head coaches have failed miserably as NBA head coaches, and I didn't even mention Lon Kruger.
There's another name. There's been very few success. Billy Donovan actually was successful, and I think some Thunder fans think that it was in spite of Billy Donovan. It was all for Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. I would like to make a counterpoint to your point, Jason, but I think that the college game is just so much different than the NBA game is right now. It's not that it's a different sport, but when we look at the players who are going to be taken early tomorrow, they're all one and dones. And they're one and dones because they probably would have gone into the draft last year. Any college player with any sort of experience, like a Yaxel Lendeborg that played at Michigan, they're few and far between in all of this for having experience in the college game. So yeah, it feels like maybe a little bit of a circle into a square hole, right? Like it just doesn't fit even more so now because I feel that the games are different. So I think it's a really good point.
Should we appreciate Dan Hurley more now for not leaving at an opportunity like the Lakers?
Yes, and I think Dan Hurley is a magnificent coach, but I don't think it would work in the NBA.
No, he would have to change his antics. His antics would not fly, I think,
Correct.
in the NBA. But he could have easily tried to adjust it. I mean, how many have attempted to do this and then just gone back? But he didn't, and I feel like this situation, like with the Mavs, it's like the Mavs are a good team, but the Mavs that's it. They're a good team, and they have a young rising star. Are the Mavs true contenders right now? I would not say that. Not even close.
And in the Western Conference. And you may be third best in your own state. But I think that tells you everything to go back to Monty's point of why Dusty May would make this move.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Hey, we're Covino and Rich from Fox Sports Radio, and you watch the drivers.
You watch the cars.
But these are the people that make race day happen.
Veterans and military families you've never heard of.
This is Unsung Heroes. Take a look.
Around the track, there are military veterans who never stopped serving, only changed uniforms.
There are definitely similarities between the NASCAR industry and the military.
You have the ability to work as a team. That's a big part of what you learn while you're in the military.
I learned from the military, communication is how to convey the point and still get the mission done.
I learned that it's just adapting on the fly to the situations that are presented during the race.
At NASCAR, veterans help keep the race moving on the track. Across the country, they're answering another call to serve in local communities. Vet the Vote is a national campaign recruiting veterans and military family members to serve again as poll workers in their state and local elections.
It's kind of nice to continue to give back for a better America for our kids and everybody around us.
Learn more and continue your service at vetv.vote/NASCAR.